Mike's mic check.
I'm just asking because Discord told me that it's not detecting microphone, so...
Well, it's not a detective, so how could he?
And hey, so it's 4 p.m. in Prague. Nice sunny day and the
I have
perfect.
not started the stage yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that you should. I was getting to that.
Okay, sorry.
So let's start.
Okay, let me ping the beep.
We'll spend a few seconds to minutes jabbering about a little bit until we get people join our stream.
And the ping has been sent.
Excellent.
Are we streaming on the other platforms as well?
We should, yes.
Good. You're sending an invitation, Mike.
Of course, just a little bit. It doesn't seem we are live on Steam, so there's some problem there.
Yeah, we are not.
And are we live on the other platforms?
We are on YouTube, we are on Twitch, we are on Facebook, and on Twitter.
Oh, yes, and we should be live on Steam in just a second as well. Sorry about that. So, yeah, Dominic, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Just Mike, can you please, the other mic, can you say something to check the volume?
Sure. Is that enough?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Please go on.
All right, it's the time of the week and of the day again. And greetings, everyone. Let me be the first to say, Ben.
No, just sub. What's up? That's fine.
And yeah, it's again me, Michal, from the marketing team at Fulqrum Publishing. Joining me is Michal from the production team.
What's up?
And with us is also Dominic.
Hello.
And Josef will be playing with us from the marketing team as well. But he's off microphone right now, sorry.
He's a silent person.
Just before we start, there is still nothing going on Steam. So what's the status there?
Yeah, I'm working on it, unfortunately. There are some issues, so I apologize about that. However, in the meanwhile, do we have any questions whatsoever from the audience that we could start even before, that we could answer even before we get into the game?
Well, we won't be getting any release date questions today, I hope, because we've recently announced, if you've missed it, we've announced that Man of War 2 will be coming out in just a few weeks on the May 15th, so that question is out of table. And just to remind you all, if you ask your questions here on Discord, where we stream, this is the main platform, so we'll definitely answer your questions here. You can, of course, ask your questions on the other platforms, such as YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, or X as well, and we'll do our best to answer those two if there's time for them, so just feel free to ask anywhere. And yeah, there is a first question on Discord from A-Army, which is a good one. Hi, is there a first-person view and control feature for both tanks and soldiers? So can you guys please tell a little bit about the direct control mode, or feature, let's say?
There is a first-person control several actually views that you can switch between using Shift Q for the vehicles. There is no first-person control for the infantry.
Yeah, but you can still control the infantry in direct control. You can take over any soldier you want and control him directly.
You can, but this is no FPS.
Yeah, exactly. There is also a question about the price, but it will be better if I just show you. I've attached a link where we share the prices, so feel free to check that one out. You can find it in the chat of the stream on Discord. And while we wait on the update from Steam, another question from Nio9. How long do you plan to support Men of War 2 after release with new content? Can you share any plans for games after Men of War 2?
Yeah, I think we talked about this extensively, but in case the gentleman is first-time viewer, we intend to support it as long as you guys are interested. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, the same goes for new content. Based on how much you guys will want it, let's say, the more of it will come.
Exactly. There is nothing more to it. Show your support. We'll be happy to carry you guys as long as we can.
And I'm
Any
kind
more
of
questions, Dominic?
Nothing for now. I think it will be way better when we start. But right now, let's just sort the Steam things out. Mikhail is wanting to say something, yeah?
Yeah, I think I found the issue and it should be sorted shortly. Like, really shortly. Apologies for that, but why don't we tell the guys in the audience what we're gonna be playing today? We're gonna be playing a lot of less than traditional gameplay, let's say. Very different modes to what Men of War fans, especially based on our Men of War 2 playtests so far, are used to. And first, we'll take a look at the tanks only mode, which I'm fairly sure you can imagine what that will be about. That's basically you set up a battalion that's only consisted of tanks and armored vehicles, and you duke it out with your friends.
Yeah, no infantry gameplay.
There is a 1000 command points limit, and units are on timer, so you can't start directly with like super Pershings and IS freeze and stuff like that. So you should try to balance your battalion somewhat. However, yeah, it's not. It's it's good to have those heavy vehicles in there, obviously, because as soon as they join the battle, then the fun really begins.
Yeah, this should be a love letter to those people who are asking for infinite CP command points, because they can summon really plenty of vehicles in this mode.
Well, yeah, in tanks only you can summon a bunch of vehicles, but the really almost unlimited gameplay begins with the testing mode that we will be showing right after that. Because there the CP limitation is, let's say, a little bit more lenient than just 1000. And well, you'll see. And
Okay.
I actually messed up. I didn't mean to say 1000 command points, but that you're limited by when setting up your battalion, that you're limited by 1000. Sorry about that. I'm juggling
All good.
few
Makes
too many
sense now.
things.
All good. We do have our favorite question here from Nionide. Are the British and Japanese factions as teased in Men of War Arena still planned?
Not at launch. Beyond that, we'll see.
Yeah, that's basically what Mike said before. Depends on how much you all guys will want everything
Yeah.
that we just mentioned after the launch. That's what I meant. Yeah.
But everyone knows I'm a big fan of British, so like I'll be kicking the heels here on that one.
Exactly. Since we're starting with the tanks only mode, it would be wise to say, because people were asking about it, and how is it similar to other games where you play with tanks. So Mike, could you maybe brief people about how is it different from other games that use tanks only modes, and what uniqueness does the mode in Men of War 2 have?
Oh, sure. It's pretty simple. You can forget any of those campy assholes with the anti-tank grenades waiting in every bush. You just go man to man, beast of steel against beast of steel, and you enjoy blowing up the enemy. That's it. There is some limit on the CPs, but this is very much a mode where you can use direct control to the most devastating effect. And it's fun with friends. Like 5v5. There is nothing else that, can make up for this unusual way of dealing with stuff. But no infantry, so the tanks will have to do for the entire duration of the match. These are shorter matches, so you can get your jollies on as many times as you want. It's more direct, it's more aggressive. So you go, you destroy the enemy. You can even bet on beer if you really want to. Or money, but I can't mention that here.
One could also say that this mode is more straightforward and even more fair than the others, because, as you said, it's tanks only. So no sneaky infantry that would throw anti-tank grenade, and no artillery that would take down your tanks who just found the perfect position.
I would say so. No cheese out.
No cheese out.
You can, of course, use the vehicles that act as artillery, but facing direct controlled heavy tanks might not be the best idea with just, no armor piercing capability at all. So you might find yourself being trashed and choosing tanks anyway.
Exactly, that was my question. What would you select? What tanks are your favorites? Which one would you recommend to newbies who want to learn this mode?
I think it goes to selection. If you want to have it really easy, you go with the Tiger. I would consider it the most universal ass-kicking heavy tank. It's not as expensive as other choices, and it's surprisingly versatile, and it survives almost anything. That's a great newbie vehicle. If you really want to enjoy it, I would go something from Soviet arsenal, something like KV-2 for the fun of it, or one of the T-34s to try out a little bit weaker armor against the Germans. Or I would take one of the Shermans for a whirl. Calliope is a favorite of my friends, and being able to disperse the rockets in addition to a pretty decent main cannon, that does do the trick, I would say.
There's a good question from Haija on Twitch, and that is, are all vehicles considered as tanks, or how is it defined?
Technically, you can bring in any vehicle that is allowed by the edits of the mode. You'll be able to see Mikhail editing one of his battalions, I'm sure. He can show you the breadth of the vehicles, but yeah, you are almost correct. It's completely up to you what you will field.
And
it looks like I managed to tackle that Steam streaming issue.
Just in time.
Confirmed, I can see it.
Excellent. Sorry about the delay, but I do believe that my esteemed colleagues kept everyone entertained. And welcome to our new audience on Steam. So let's jump right into it. So I'm just setting up the lobby, inviting my colleagues, and here in the match setup mode you can already see that we can select tanks only.
Michael, would you be so kind as to show off your edit
of course.
of the battalion after?
Of course, as soon as we set up the lobby properly. And what map shall we do? Let's give this one to the audience on Discord. You can see the list of maps, and the first one to type in a name of the map into chat will select that. What do you think?
Capone heard it immediately, even before you finished, and it's Saint LS.
Saint. Alright. Let's try that. And let's play in the realism mode, because why not? And there we go. Josef, would you mind there? Excellent. So here in troop selection you see there's just one battalion per nation, because we're doing tanks only. So there are the typical levels and slots as you know them from the normal battalion PvP. Yeah, you are limited in some, and in the highest level slots you are not limited at all in what units you can select there. So technically for the Soviet army, this is the complete list of vehicles allowed to use in tanks only. As you can see, you have a very broad selection. It's not limited strictly to tanks themselves. Yes, we are a little bit misleading in that, but as I said at the beginning of the stream, it's about tanks and armored vehicles. So self-propelled artillery is also a thing we can call in, like the ISU 152 and other beasts like that. I already have my battalion pre-built, so at the beginning I will be able to summon only T-35 supported by T-28s, and since I had some slots unused, I basically put in the AA gun Yak-10 because it can quite easily dispatch of light enemy armored vehicles as well, so that's a useful counter. And we'll see what my colleagues will take into the battle. So let's go.
As soon as you're ready, we can start with the questions. We have plenty of some, so just tell me.
Let's go, of course. Shoot.
Okay. Caprone is asking on Discord, hey there, how old are the masterminds behind this game? I need to know how many candles they'll be blowing out on their next birthday cake, so I can predict how long they'll be able to keep up with the constant updates and support for the game.
I'm afraid that under the GDPR rules that we are obligated to follow, we cannot disclose personal information like that.
Well, we can say none of us is over 50, so no retirement in sight.
And none of us is under 15.
I did
Okay.
say 50, right?
Yeah, but I said that none of us is under 15.
Well, that belongs somewhere else, I guess.
All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we've just started the game. We're loaded in. Yeah, in tanks only, it's not just about mindless shooting and mindless bashing tanks against tank. You need to maneuver. Victory points are not awarded just for destroying enemy tanks, but also for holding strategic points on the map and capturing them. So we need to strategize a bit. I will try to take F and C, Mike.
Frankly, I would like to steal this bulldog tractor.
Or it looks like you're close. Is that one of the AIs? No. Okay. Oh yeah, tractor would be fun. I mean, when one of our tanks gets blown up, we will get crew available to potentially capture other vehicles. So.
Well, that won't go that great.
I
If you
know.
know what I mean. Okay, I got surprised here.
Oh. There you go.
I feel like point B is defended rather well.
There's a direct control.
Exactly. Backed by popular demand. I'm just too far still.
Don't forget to show off all the modes. Joseph and his German cohort.
Come on, reload. Oh. Alright, do we have any more questions from the audience?
We do. The first one that's actually kind of relevant is how can realism work if the HP of the tank is still displayed?
Well, the realism mode itself changes more than just the visibility of the UI, like the tank's hit points. It also affects range and the armor penetration properties, let's say. But we're not showing hit points on tanks right now. Even though the underlying system of hit points is still there. But if you're referring to the shields that you can see, that's just the designation of the unit. It's not the hit points of it.
Yeah, that's what I think happened, or maybe it could be confused for the designation of the map point, because they have something that looks like the original health bar point.
Possibly. Well, whoever asked the question, if you still have doubts, feel free to ask a follow-up. We just don't know what you mean exactly right now.
If there is a follow-up, I will definitely read it. But the next question asks, will the game have skirmish missions?
Yeah, actually, not called skirmish per se, but a mode that's very similar to the skirmish, I believe, is the raid mode, which we showed last time.
Yep, and you basically get to experience all of the maps through the dynamic campaign. You can reshuffle it and report. Carl, you seem to be having some problems with your connection, I would say. The sound didn't go through that well.
Okay, another question from Discord. A Army is asking how far modding is supported. Will it have many things to be moddable, like gameplay, unit stats, or is it limited to graphics, models, and adding new units?
I think Michal will take that because modding is his favorite topic. However, yes, for the first time ever on our this is our 4th stream, right? So it took three live streaming session because before we got defeated because of being distracted by talking to you guys. But
anyway.
Yeah, but we definitely want to keep talking to you, even if it costs us all our victory points. So let's do tanks only one more time, and then we'll move to the testing mode. I think just a quick match.
Yeah, and meanwhile there was the question for Mike, I believe, about the modding. So will only visuals be moddable, or also the stats?
Technically, everything that you can see is moddable. You can play with the stats as much as you want to. Anything that the game allows you to do, you can enhance, as it was in the older Man of Wars. And if there is any feedback on you guys wanting some special or particular things in the modding sense, we'll be listening to it. But the editor already allows you to play with the visuals, to create insanities that I've seen, to create insanely unbalanced vehicles, if you like, or any unit from the entire roster. Or you would bring in your own and create whatever you like.
Okay, moving on to another question on Twitch. Have you tested in-house, and does Realism or the normal rules work better with tanks only mode?
I don't understand the question fully.
Yeah, what I understand from it is if the realism setting is better than the original normal one, let's say, for the tanks only mode. Which one is, let's say, easier to navigate in?
It depends on the personal preference. There are people who don't like the UI to be getting into their way. You can do that even without switching between the competitive and the realism options by simply turning off elements of UI that you don't like or that are bothering you in any way or are just basically in the way. Then there is a bunch of people who are purists, so they prefer the gameplay to be harsher, the errors that they make be punished more severely, and the good tactics to be rewarded. So those guys will go with the realism. But if you really like to go, as I've said, just for the fun, head to head, you will go with the competitive version of the stats. But nothing bans you or prevents you from trying out all of it, every flavor, finding out the one that you like. There is no restriction. There are no penalties for switching between. It is a personal choice and a matter of personal choice and preference.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Maybe I would just add that, yeah, realism mode is a little bit more complicated, let's say. You have more things you need to take into account at all times, from the range of your gun to, for example, when you're playing artillery, as you know that I do quite a lot. You don't get a full overview of your noise level, of your visibility and the enemy's fog of war. So you kind of need to be even more aware of that than in the competitive mode. So yeah, for some that's more rewarding, more fun. For some they just want a more approachable, faster gameplay where they don't need to think about quite as many options to be victorious. But I honestly enjoy switching it up and playing both.
Okay, another question on Discord asks, will there be a first-person mode for infantry?
Not yet planned. It's not in the game. I guess it shouldn't be problematic to mod in with the tools that you'll have. But if it's something requested, we can look into it. It's not a preference right now.
Okay.
If we are talking infantry, that is.
Yeah, that was infantry question, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the response made sense, yes. On Twitch, Hygia is asking, this is a more of technical question. How exactly does tank collisions work? Can you not have non-lethal ramming, for instance?
I'm afraid I didn't hear you quite well.
Apologies, I will read it again.
Quiet.
Yeah, how exactly do tank collisions work? Can you not have non-lethal ramming, for instance?
Like you wouldn't be able to ram other vehicles.
Wouldn't be able to inflict damage by ramming. I think that's the question.
Not only
You
damage,
are
but
able to do that.
Yes, but the question is if that can be disabled, I suppose.
No.
Yeah.
The question, what I understand, is if it's possible to ram a tank or a vehicle for it not to be lethal. If you can just ram it and nothing happens, if there are multiple levels of the ram.
If your vehicle is superior in weight and armor, then yes, you can destroy it without coming to harm yourself. But if you have two tigers trying to ram each other, the outcome most likely will be that they both will suffer either some or catastrophic damage.
Yeah, so I guess the simplest answer is that no, not every collision is automatically lethal. Yeah.
And yes, there are more levels to it.
Yeah, that was the question. Awesome. Thank you very much. A question from YouTube, from Amam and Yasbold. Is there a single-player mode in Man of War 2?
Oh, definitely. There are 3 single-player narrative campaigns that tell a full story of, let's say, a hero or a band of heroes. There are
I would call them soldiers.
or soldiers, of course. Yes.
Even though there is a Wehrmacht campaign.
Yeah, that's true. I meant it as heroes in the let's say literal sense, protagonists. Yeah, that would be the better word that I was looking for. There are 2 historical campaigns which are more open, more dynamic. You can tweak the setup of units you bring into those missions. Unlike in the story campaigns where those are fully scripted. And then there are the completely dynamic modes, the dynamic campaign, conquest, and raids that are similar to the skirmish modes that we just discussed a short while ago here. And last but not least, you can set up a private lobby, set up a match in any way that you would for a multiplayer bout, and you can just fill it with AI mods and play as single player against computer controlled enemies. So definitely you are not forced at all to play multiplayer in Men of War 2 if you don't want to. The game has a lot to offer to single player fans as well. And on the other hand, if you do prefer multiplayer, then any of the single player content I mentioned, like every single mode, every single mission, is available for co-op as well.
Okay, a question from Altai on YouTube. Do arena backers get cookies on release day?
Not cookies, but we will be sending out the promised copies of the game. So
Yeah, no one gets cookies.
yeah,
Like, no one.
unfortunately.
What? I thought we were getting those.
No, you were lied to.
Okay, Hayajia actually clarified his question about the RAM damage. He is asking if it does matter if the ramming is, let's say, affected by the speed, the angle, and even the damage of the tank that is currently being rammed. If this all is taken into account.
It is. I said so.
Okay, yeah, so the question remains answered.
Man, we are getting our butts kicked again.
Again.
Well, if we are not taking any points, and we lost again.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
but I'm
Can you turn up
I'm
the
still having
points
fun.
to 5,000? How about that?
Come again?
Can you turn up the command points?
I think it's about time we moved on to the test mode, though. What do you think?
Huh?
I
Just
mean,
about time.
I hope that people in the audience are curious about that too.
Well, I'm curious if we'll get butts kicked by Joseph again, so...
That's what you deserve, because during the last stream, you were talking about him negatively. He was not able to respond, so now this is his answer.
Oh, sure. That's karma coming to bite me.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so with the test mode, that's actually a special setting for the classic match setup mode. And what it does in the simplest term is it strips any restrictions apologies, any meaningful restrictions from what you can do. There are no timers on units, so you can summon them anytime, as quickly in as quick a succession as you want. And there is theoretically a CP limit, but it's quite extreme. So I do not believe you are really limited in how many units you can summon onto the battlefield.
This was also a heavily requested feature to have unlimited points or space.
It was. So let's pick up a nice map, and I mean, let's do a winter map for once. I know that they aren't popular with everyone, but I think we can showcase them as well. And yeah, let's take a look.
And Joseph didn't get an invitation, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's what he gets for winning. Okay, I'm not gonna go as US. Let's go.
Okay, while the game is loading, are we clear for another question?
Of course.
Okay, Xenomicon on Twitch is asking, in the multiplayer overview you mentioned multiple times of matchmaking modes. Battalion to me is the most interesting choice by far. How will it be able to survive past the initial launch, considering the player base is split into different queues and 5v5s will have extreme requirements for the amount of players in a queue at the same time?
So, first thing is that we hope that not every player will be strictly set in their way and only be playing one mode, because we have had a lot of people telling us they do enjoy the variability. So I think they will be, like a lot of people will be switching between the different matchmaking options. However, the second point is that while 5v5 for battalions is the desired match, if after a couple of minutes such a match can't be assembled, then the servers will try to match you into a 4v4 and then 3v3. So yeah, it's not that each match will necessarily have to be 5v5 in the battalion matchmaking. And yeah, here we are with the testing mode, and you can see I can summon any unit without any waiting period, anything limiting me really. And the CP limit technically is there, but before I manage to click myself all the way to the 25,000 CP limit, I think I would die out of boredom, so I'm just gonna
maybe it would be good to clarify, since we've mentioned that the game is able to run on low spec PCs. Will this specific mode limit players who use not that good PCs, let's say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The reason why the, let's say, unlimited CPs option is not the default is that, of course, the more units are on the battlefield, the more demanding it is for the computer to render and control all of them. So
and also your connection that you are running,
yeah,
is a factor, obviously, especially in a lobby game. But there are sweet spots that work for different categories, so you can try them out. That's why it's the testing mode. can try and crash it. That's the point.
Okay, a question on Discord. Is there a map called, and now let me try my French, Sainte-Marie-du-Mont? Sainte-Marie-du-Mont. Do we have a map like that?
That
That sounds
doesn't.
low, but I don't think we've got the map that you're talking about.
Yeah, like a map that's exactly called Sainte Marie. I do not believe that's in the game. No.
Okay, Capone is actually appreciating the way this mode can heat up his PC, as he says, so that is one way to get heat in my room. Glorious.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey Army is asking, is reconnecting to the game still a thing if connection was lost during a game?
Absolutely. If you get disconnected during a match, you can reconnect to the game in progress. Yeah,
I think I'll go
That-
for America.
that's what it looks when you get a couple of big boys.
The minimap looks hilarious now.
I hope those planes are going down. Actually.
Okay, question from Xenomicon on Twitch. Could you showcase the different battalions briefly that weren't available in open betas? So do we have any unit currently in this game that was not present in the beta?
Actually, no, because all units technically were available in the betas. I believe there was no hard-coded restrictions on individual
No.
units.
No.
They were just not
Not
unlockable.
battalions.
Well, collectible, yeah. You weren't able to unlock everything because
Yeah, that's
you
okay.
weren't able to fulfill the conditions for unlocking them. That's true.
Joseph has no money, so let's fix him up.
Okay, but the question still stands. Is there any unit, any vehicle in this current game that was not unlockable during the betas?
There are battalions and vehicles that you couldn't unlock technically within the battalions. So, sure.
And is there
Some
right now,
surprises.
is there right now any unit on the map that we could showcase? That's what the person is asking for.
Well, I would ask if the person doesn't like to explore stuff. Because personally, I like to be surprised. We could show off everything, but that's not gonna happen. Wouldn't be the point of the stream. So you guys will have to wait for the release.
Question from
Very
Hygia on Twitch. Do you have a criteria what units are made premium here in the loadout? So why are certain units premium and how do we determine which ones?
Well, the premium unit you can unlock by fulfilling tasks in the campaigns. They are pretty well marked. They are usually a variant of a unit or something very specialized that would tinker a little bit with the balancing. So you're free to unlock them. The way they are unlocked is the same as it was during the betas. They're just more open. You can unlock anything and everything. That's the sense of the premium. Like, there is no in-app purchase unit that you would have to pay for to get exclusively that you couldn't get via gameplay. They just have a very unique look most of the time, and they work well.
Another one on YouTube. Kate DeVilla is asking, will the game have workshop support like Assault Squad 2 had?
We'll have full Steam Workshop support, yes.
Okay, that's a good thing to mention. And another question from Kevin, Kate, apologies. How similar will the game be to Assault Squad 2?
Well, it's its own game, so we don't like to make like direct comparisons to other games because we are not trying to copy anyone else, and we try to offer something for pretty much everyone, to be honest. So it can be similar to Assault Squad 2 in or let's say to an upgraded Assault Squad 2 in the basic gameplay. If you play, for example, the classic mode with Realism turned on, but it can be also a completely different experience if you try different modes. Yeah.
Another question on Discord, will it be necessary to capture flags and zones in a historical campaign?
Technically, it depends on the kind of tasks that you are getting. They are so varied, so sometimes, yes, you will have to clear out certain area, take over the area from the enemy forces, but it might be just one of the tasks of the mission. The next one will be completely different. Sometimes you are in a position of working alone, sometimes you are being supported by a bigger armed force. Pretty much standard Man of War.
Understood. A question from Rain. Hello, will there be a replace available in Man of War 2?
Yes. You can actually replay any battle. And yes, there is a limitation on that. It's 2 weeks, I believe, Michal, right? That they stay as default, but you can choose to save your replays and then they will
And you
not.
can share them
Exactly, yes.
with your friends.
You know what? Does anyone in the audience have a proposal, an idea of what we should try and test in the testing mode? What would you like to see?
I have one that's pretty obvious, but not sure how it's gonna work. Can you spawn as many units as possible until the game crashes?
No.
Okay.
I will not be intentionally crashing the game, no.
That's what everyone can try at home as soon as they get the game.
Exactly, and you know what? You can tell us how many men you had after launch in the test mode.
Most definitely.
That will be a good competition. Spawn as
Yeah.
many units in testing mode.
No, not just
out.
not units. Spam as many men as you can. That's what I
Okay.
want to see.
And also, it's a hazard because if you spam too many men, the game will crash and your PC will burn. So you are risking your own computer for that.
But
What a gamble!
I don't
You-
think so, Dominic.
of
Our
course, we,
computers don't burn graphics.
Okay,
that was just a joke.
of course it was a joke. Yeah.
Well,
There have been instances in gaming history where a game was released that of course, would be able to do that, so we shouldn't joke about it.
And
but...
this would count as a very poor choice of words, I guess.
Yeah. So let us assure everyone that Man of War 2 has been thoroughly tested and is still undergoing and will keep undergoing thorough testing, and no hardware issues that would even hint at the possibility of damaging your computers have been found. So.
Okay, since you have that many tanks spawned, Hydrae is asking if we could show the ramming. Can you ram with the lighter tank, any heavier tank, and see what it does?
Yeah. I can try.
Well, we have Josef on the enemy.
Oh yeah, I can actually use this 26 and ram those Sturmpanzers, because I think I will be able to get to them before I get killed. Or maybe not. Let's see. Don't kill me, don't kill me, I just want to... Oh, come on!
That was close.
I just wanted to, you know, do a little kiss. Just a little kissy kiss, come on. Yeah, let me get some really much lighter and faster tank T40 should do. So I can get to the front line quicker.
Well, you know how Josef likes winning. I don't think he'll allow you to do
I mean, we're winning this time. We're winning. So...
That's why he's not gonna let you to ram his tank.
Yeah, but that was one of his AI companions. that wasn't a betrayal from Josef this time. So.
Burke is in the chat, and while you're trying to ram the tanks, he's asking, do we know the number of units in Man of War 2 on launch? Not launch, obviously, sorry.
Yeah, well, it's the same, right? Close to 400.
Geronimo! There you go, see? Gas hitting this Panzer IV does pretty much nothing. Yeah,
I decided to simulate the Soviet human wave in order to destroy the enemy.
Yeah, and here we are with the T40.
He's running.
Ramming the Sturmtiger, and it's also not doing anything. Even though, in the meantime, my engine got damaged, so that's it for the ramming.
What were you ramming it with?
Just a light tank, just a T40.
Okay, that doesn't really work.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to show, that you can ram without killing the other thing. You know?
I guess so.
Ayame is asking, is there a tank detail window that shows tanks stats like in Man of War 1? For example, armor, shell penetration and distance, and so on.
Well, there is a detailed overview for the units. There's a whole library, and we can show that after the match, actually, why not? So there's a complete library of all the units in the game that you can explore and educate yourself and prepare for the future battles.
Okay, another question from Twitch. What's the limit map size? I suppose it goes for the editor if you want to edit things and build your own map. What's the limit? Do we know the exact number?
Technically 5v5 size. That's basically.
I don't think the person means players, but
I understand, but
yeah.
it also gives you the sense of the size.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's one more thing about Man of War 2, the map map size scales based on the number of players in the match. So even though you create a map, it will be a different size on 5v5 than on 1v1, for example.
Rain on YouTube is asking, will there be an option to mark all units at the same time, like 3 groups of military troops, for example?
Do you mean creating custom groups? Of course, you can do that.
Will there be option to mark all units, to basically select all units that you have in the current game?
You mean Control A?
You can technically assign all of the units that you have. You can select them, then assign them to a number that you choose by pressing left shift, and the number, for example, shift 1, and then by pressing 1, you will select all the units that you have assigned to the number. So yes, you can do that.
So did anyone in the chat have an idea of what we should call in and what we should try out? Because I know that crashing the computer was Dominic's idea, and that's a bit of cheating.
How do you know that?
Because you said so.
Ah, okay. My bad. Okay, a random person on Discord is asking, can you spam as many units as possible? No, sorry.
Come on.
Yeah, sorry, there was not a real request, so I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
And we've basically answered all the questions, all the relevant ones that were asked. So yeah, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. We'll be reading all of those, all of the Discord questions, and we'll try to do our best to read questions on other platforms as well. And here we go. Scott is asking, what is the function of building a squad to the left of the tank silhouette? After all, with the current infantry, it probably doesn't make sense. Or is there something I don't know? I'm not sure I understand the question. What is the function of building a squad to the left of the tank silhouette? Yeah, can you maybe try to specify what you mean by the question, please?
I mean, if it's about forming... That's window.
Meanwhile, question related to the A army that we've been talking about a while ago. If the stats window of a vehicle or a unit can be displayed in-game, can you check any stats in-game, or do you have to go to the tech tree?
Yeah, the stats are displayed in-game.
Yeah,
Because of the realism mode that we have set up at the moment, none of them are showing.
I mean, you can see the basic stats when you mouse over your own unit. I'm showing that right now for this Veraboy there. But it's not the completely full overview as you would get in the library.
And you are losing some of the detail because, again, in the realism mode, it is few helpful advice as you can get. Like, there is no help. It's just you and your vehicles and your soldiers. And you should know the stats by heart, essentially.
Also, a follow-up to the previous question. The question basically asks how to use and what are the symbols to the right of the tank silhouette next to the minimap. You have a minimap, then you have the tank silhouette. Yes, exactly, Michal, those.
Oh yeah, you can change the formation of the units that you have selected. You can exit or drop off the crew from the vehicle. That's that. Let me actually call in a few and show you the formations here. Actually clicked out of the limit here.
Seems you're going to win soon anyway. Finally a win, right?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. It's so easy when they have to spam units.
So, you see, this is the column formation where they line up. Oh, tried to. And by holding down the right mouse button as you order them, you can tweak the distance in the formation. So by accident I clicked them a little bit too close. They didn't have maneuvering space, so they were acting up a little bit. But yeah, this is the wedge formation. As you can see, we can try the line formation. Let me find some more units to showcase a little bit more. There we go, at least like that. And now if we choose the wedge formation, you see that we have a little bit more to work with. And that's what the buttons next to the squad or the tank detail window are.
Yup, Scott already reacted. Wow, looks great, thanks.
Awesome.
And following up with Berg's question, oh sorry, I should be saying his whole name, Das Altberg. Yeah. Currently we don't have much of a combat score during the match. Is this so we hear more of the battle itself, or did you guys just turn it down for the stream and potential copyright shenanigans?
Oh, you mean the music? Yeah, we turned down the music a bit, just to not get in the way of our lovely voices, and we pronounce the SFX in the game a little bit more than the music. There's no copyright issues. The soundtrack is created specifically for the game, so yeah. And we won't be issuing any copyright strikes or anything like that to content creators.
So by that you mean that the music is so awesome that everyone should hear it and share it, right?
That everyone should hear it. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not encouraging. I'm not encouraging. You know, sharing the in-game tracks just by themselves. But as far as having it as background to your streams or gameplay videos or content related to the game itself, that's perfectly fine.
Good to specify.
Alright. Is there anything else that anyone in the audience would like to see?
See, I'm not sure, but there is a question. How far the buildings are destructible?
Completely.
Yeah, you can level them to the ground. Like, I think you will always see, it can vary from building to building as well. So you will still see some remains of them, but you can level them completely.
And that's that, I think, Michael. Right? Do we have any more questions left, Dominic?
Well, if you guys have time, we can answer them. Question from Rain. Will there be 16 versus 16 mod available in this game?
No. Unless you make it yourself, I don't see point for it.
Yeah, so not in the main game, but I'm almost sure that someone will try to experiment with the numbers in one of the modes. Yeah, exactly. MRL on YouTube is also asking, I don't know for sure, but I saw Team 95, and I don't know if the tank participated in World War II.
Technically, it could have. It didn't, but it's there. It's one of the unique units that you can see. The same as IS-3 that has participated in some parades. The same goes for the other special super impossible vehicles.
But we mentioned during the game that there's like the library of all units, so I'm just gonna showcase that. And this is what the basic overview looks like. You can filter them by allegiance. You can filter them by types. So if you just look at heavy tanks, for example, the Soviets, there you are, and you can further filter them out by the unit level, which determines where you can place them and what battalions you can place them in. And then you can take a detailed look at the unit as well. You get basic information and you can click for more information. The first time you do that during a game, it takes a little bit to load, because it's loading a new environment there, but then it's completely smooth on the following units. So yeah, there you can get a complete overview and a closer look on the units themselves with a detailed description, its advantages, disadvantages, abilities, and its statistics for the game.
Okay, question from Legacy. How are you guys doing? Is the release date set? Like, no more delays?
Yes, the release date is set for May 15.
Alright, another one from Scott. I have another question. Would you like to give the opportunity to stay on the battlefield after the end of the game? It would be great, for example, to discuss game moments with friends, unsuccessful offensives, etc. Yeah, that's it.
That sounds like an interesting suggestion. We can definitely take that into account for the post-launch development. It would be best if you could add that on the Discord in the suggestions thread.
Already linked it. Yeah, you have it right there.
Perfect. So yeah, it will not be there at launch, but we're not dismissing it outright for the future.
And a final question from ARMA. Are there intentions to add more tanks or units after launch? And he specifies a few like IS-4, IS-7 and so on.
There are no plans for particular individual units at the moment, but we will finalize all the plans for future content development. We definitely do intend to prepare more content for the game. It all depends on how the launch goes, how you guys like the game, and on your suggestions as well. So if those particular units, any particular nation, any particular battles are highly requested, that will definitely be taken into account. And of course, there's always the modding community. And I'm fairly sure that just by hearing you ask for those particular units, there definitely will be some modder who will prepare them themselves as well.
All right, I think that's it for the questions everywhere. So yeah.
Well, in that case, I hope everyone has enjoyed this newest gameplay session. We'll see you next week again, because we've added one more session before the launch, so we're switching it up, not doing a live stream just every 2 weeks, but next week and the week after that as well. And next time we will be talking about the dynamic campaign, conquest campaign, and we'll be showing you the details of that. We hope you'll all come again and join us as we explore more of Men of War 2 just before the launch. And even if you don't, we hope to see you. Oh, I see that someone asked another question, so I won't be ending yet.
Yeah, just ARMA is forwarding. Would be dynamic infinite conquest that you would keep advancing forever?
It's not meant as infinite, but if you kind of keep winning and then losing and then winning again, is there a hard limit on that, Mike?
Technically, there is a limit on the size of it, that in terms of battles and the total number, but like you can always reset it at any point. Up to you. We do not have an infinite conquest in the terms that you get to the final headquarters. It will recreate a new net of maps. No, you win or you lose, you restart the entire campaign. You can start over. That's how it works.
Pretty well explained. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right. If there are no other questions, no follow-ups.
No follow-ups. Of course, Alberg is asking again. about his Altbergiager battalion and statues, but I usually choose to ignore him. So yeah.
No, that's cruel.
No, you know, I've responded to him like 900 times, and he still keeps asking. But the the enthusiasm of his is insane. So yeah.
Well, he has the editor available, I guess.
He is, and I'm sure that he has, and I'm sure that this will be the first thing that he's going to do after the game
I'm
launch.
looking forward to it, actually.
Yes, so am I.
And I think we have another question there.
Yeah, we can keep going. Oh, I wanted to ask a question concerning the far shooting issue connected with direct fire.
I would consider clever appropriation of the varied units and good use of them to give you the sight of your opponent and try and get him. But as far as the old far shooting goes, almost impossible to do.
And another one from Ruby Rose. Do lobbies stay up after a match now? I remember them closing after each match, which was a bit tedious.
They close. You can create your own lobby. The thing is, they are closing for a reason, so the servers do not have to take on a prolonged extra load. We would like the code to remain stable. This is one of the things we are still discussing. We would like to have permanent lobbies, but it will not yet be available for the release. But it's one of the suggestions that's very close to us, and we'll be looking into implementing it as soon as possible.
Yeah, that goes to every suggestion that you write here on Discord, to the suggestions and ideas forum that I've linked. Just feel
That
free to
would
post
be,
there
but
anything.
this one especially, it's been long time coming, so I can say confidently that we've been looking into it for the last 6 months.
Yeah, so that also answers probably the following questions. Will there be a way to save settings? Redoing settings per match can get tiring since I primarily play co-op with the group. So since we are checking this issue out, I think that answers it as well.
Yep. It's a very good suggestion. I would connect it with the permanent lobbies. If you can save the state, this is something we have to come up with, so you guys can enjoy the state for quite some time in a session. We'll be looking into the fact how long the session should last, when it should be closed, whether we can close it automatically by giving a limit, or you guys will close it on your own without impacting the other players on the server. So yeah, as I've said, looking into it.
Mm-hmm. And Scott is asking, can vehicles see the roads? If you order a group of tanks to move far, will they form a column or will they crash into each other?
You mean if they can see parts of the other tanks?
I suppose that's the question, yeah.
Well, there is a system where if those tanks were in a group, they will be able to maneuver in a way where they don't crash into each other. But if you send tanks directly into each other, they have no way of determining that the other vehicle is going in there until they get to the mass of the vehicle that's been parked over in that very spot. So, sure, if in group, but if they are not grouped, anything can happen.
And also, in regards to will they form a column, that depends on the formation that you select. You can change that. It can be a column, it can be a line, it can be a wedge, it can be yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's it. No more questions, it seems.
I saw someone still typing.
Yeah, Arm is typing. Maybe he has a follow-up question. Of course, just because you don't ask here doesn't mean that we won't respond to you. We'll be answering all the questions on the Discord as we usually do. So feel free to ask anytime.
Of course, and the same on all our other channels, on Steam, in the discussions as well. We try to be as open and as approachable as possible.
And yeah, that's it. Pretty nice words of appreciation. Thank you very much for coming out. Arm is thanking and saying that he will see us on May the 15th. And Alberg is just reminding people that on the May the 4th we'll be campaigning, but we'll be campaigning dynamically. So that'll be a great thing to look forward to.
Exactly. Thanks everyone for coming once again, and we'll see you on the battlefield real soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Come to our Discord, chat with us anytime. Looking forward to getting to know you better.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Bye everyone.